a gift to come down where you ought to be. And when we find ourselves in the place just right, we'll be in the valley of love and delight. When true simplicity is gained, to bow and to bend, we will not be ashamed. To turn, turn will be our delight, till by turning, turning we come round right, till turning, turning we come round right.
We come to the time in the season when family and friends gather near to offer a prayer of thanksgiving for blessings we've known through the years, to join hands and thank the Creator now when Thanksgiving is due. And this year when I count my blessings, I'm thanking the Lord He made you. This year when I count my blessings, I'm thanking the Lord He made you. I'm grateful for the laughter of children, the sun and the wind and the rain, the color of blue in your sweet eyes, the sight of a high-balling train, the moonrise over the prairie, and old love that you've made new. This year when I count my blessings, I'm thanking the Lord He made you. This year when I count my blessings, I'm thanking the Lord He made you. And when the time comes to be going, it won't be in sorrow or tears. I'll kiss you goodbye and I'll go on my way, grateful for all of the years. I'll thank you for all that you gave me, for teaching what love can do. Thanksgiving Day for the rest of my life, I'm thanking the Lord He made you. Thanksgiving Day for the rest of my life, I'm thanking the Lord He made you.
Singing in the kitchen, family. Running through the yard, family. Going on vacation, family. On a credit card, family. All in this together, family. We're taking a chance, family. Like birds of a feather, family. Kick off your shoes and dance. Hey! Laughing in the rain, family. It ain't always pretty, family. Can drive you insane. Sons and daughters, family. Like a photograph, family. Baptized in the water, family. Put me on the map, family. All in this together, family. We're taking a chance, family. Like birds of a feather, family. Kick off your shoes and dance. Yeah, shoes and dance. Hey. Kick off your shoes and dance.
No matter where you come from, no matter where you're going, here's a place where you can take comfort in the knowing that whether if you come to stay a while or just passing through, this door is open to you. Come, let's be silent. Come and share a hug. Come, let's pray together. Come, love and be loved. From the blissed out to the turned out, from the pampered to the abused, this door is open to you. Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. The God in us recognizes the God in you. The God in you. Whether you're black or white or gay or straight, Christian, Buddhist or Jew, this door is open to you.
Good morning, Claremont Center for Spiritual Living. How are you this morning? Nice to see all of you. You made it out of your turkey stupor, enough to get out of a house today. So give yourselves a little round of applause for showing up. And we wave to our friends that are watching online. We always have a few out there too, so happy to have all of you here today. I'm Reverend Tracy and delighted to welcome you here to this community of love and support and joy. Yes, when you say joy. It is the holiday season after all, and if you're not feeling joy, you know what? That's okay too. There's room for you here. Because what I know is that when we all come together, love and support and acceptance, and that in and of itself brings joy back into everyone's life. So thank you all for coming and being a part of our service this morning. Our practitioner on platform this morning is Reverend Drac Durella. He'll do our opening evocation and a short reading for us to get us started, and we have some great music. We welcome back the Jacksons this weekend. And just a shout out to everybody who makes things happen here in the sanctuary. We have a whole slew of volunteers. Most of you are in this room. Some of you are still running around doing things. But know that I know, and your community knows, that this service or any event that we do wouldn't happen without all of the giving that takes place in this community. And isn't it wonderful to be someplace where you want to give? It's a good thing for all of us, and I, for one, am truly grateful and just very, very happy to be here and just so appreciative of all of you. All right, so let's get started. Let's begin by getting centered, shall we? By letting go of the world for a moment. Clear your laps, turn off your phones, clear your minds, take a deep breath, and if you're comfortable, close your eyes and take in the sound of the bowl. Letting that tone resonate in your heart space, that place within you that knows harmony, that knows peace, that knows love. For there is truly only one, and it is here in this place that we remember our spiritual nature.
So in remembering our spiritual nature, we acknowledge the gift of our humanity, the gift of how we are connected right here, right now, in this moment, as fellow human beings. To be a human is a gift. It's a privilege. And this moment is unlike any other moment. And in a moment it will pass, and then there will be another moment, and then another moment in our humanity. We are grateful for the capacity to be with one another, to connect the way that we do, because that is how God moves in this world, is through our connections with ourselves and with others. We acknowledge that there is space for grace for the moments that may not feel good and for the moments that feel wonderful as well. And that in opening ourselves to these moments, we open ourselves to also letting go of those which no longer serve our memories or our hearts. And in so opening ourselves and letting these go, we open ourselves to the new connections as fellow human beings in God's presence, here and in now. And so we are grateful for this moment. And so it is. One of my most favorite books in the world is called My Grandfather's Blessings. I don't know if any of you are familiar with this book. Yeah. The person who wrote it, Rachel Naomi Remen, she's a doctor, and she had a lot of physical pain in her life. And she took this pain and this adversity and she harnessed it into something beautiful and wrote this book that has the most amazing stories in it. The one that she wrote that I'm going to read is called Letting Go. And I chose this one because sometimes, when we let go of things, we open ourselves to accept things that are new, or to shift that which we held on to before and make it into something new. And that in doing that, we can be present with the things that we're grateful for. So this is what this is, for me anyway. A woman whom I have never actually met sent me a letter about a story I had told during a talk that had touched her very personally. It was the story of a man who could not take care of himself because he saw taking his medication as tantamount to surrendering to the authority of his cancer. He had seen his cancer as a black hole that was constantly trying to pull him in. It took all his strength to resist this pull. You know, this is a different story than what I was going to do, but that's okay. Well, no, it is the same one. Okay, just making sure. Okay. It took all of his strength to resist this pull. When he imagined himself letting go and being drawn into this hole, in its darkness he found a profound healing. As soon as she heard this, she realized that there was just such a hole in the middle of her own life. This surprised her greatly, but it was unquestionably true. Many of her behaviors and ways that had seemed merely eccentric now made a new kind of sense for her. Her own cancer had been successfully treated almost a decade ago. She had thought it a part of her past. But she realized now that this was not entirely the case. For many years, she had not bought a really good pair of shoes, the kind that last, as if perhaps she might not get to wear them out and they would be wasted. She made vacation plans with her family a year in advance, but always bought her clothes at the very last minute, as if it was not until then that she could be sure that she might actually take the trip. And she had put off having expensive dental work done many times for no good reason at all. She had never really looked at any of this before. Now that she had noticed it, she felt a sort of undertow, a pull to the past that had kept her from fully living her life. Enough is enough, she thought, and so, closing her eyes in the middle of the lecture, she imagined the hole and allowed it to pull her in. At first, she experienced being in endless darkness. It seemed to her that she was falling. But before she could become frightened, she realized that this was not true. In this total darkness, there was no up or down. And she was simply floating in a vast, softly dark space. Tentatively at first, she did a cartwheel to her right, and then another. And then one or two to the left. Something new began to grow in her, and she allowed it to send her into a series of somersaults, head over heels. She felt a sudden rush of freedom and began to laugh softly to herself. As she continued to dance weightless in the darkness, this sense of freedom grew until she kicked down hard with both her feet. It seemed to her this sent her upward, faster and faster, a great joy growing in her until suddenly she was gone, exploding into a million bright sparks of joy that fell like rain into the hearts of people everywhere. Slowly, she opened her eyes. She felt totally at peace. I do not know what all this means, she wrote, but things seem a little different. Perhaps it is just fanciful. All I can say is this week I bought a pair of Italian shoes. They were very expensive. I have them on now. I just wanted you to know. Yeah.
Good morning. We are very grateful and thankful to be here this Sunday after Thanksgiving, and we are so thankful to be able to be here and share with you what we love to do. And we have a new song to share with you this morning. This song is called Day and Night. I see more smiles and more light when I appreciate both day and night. It's the same love, the same power that flows within no matter who we are. Not every miracle shines like gold or loses value when it gets old. If we see beauty in everything, we'll see the changes that love will bring. You know it's small things that change the world. With love and kindness, our greatest tool, we can make a difference every single day when we wish each other a beautiful day. Not every miracle shines like gold or loses value when it gets old. If we see beauty in everything, we'll see the changes that love will bring. I see more smiles and more light when I appreciate both day and night. It's the same love, the same power that flows within no matter who we are. Thank you.
Oh, you guys are amazing. Yeah, we just whipped up a song this week for the talk. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And that's what we're lighting our candle for today is thank you. Everybody, everything, life in general, life in particular, for the love and the beauty and the light that we see, that we share, that we understand, and even for the things that we don't understand. Because truly life is for us. And it is in the way in which we see that we learn how exactly something is for us. And so as you see, I got a new candle. You know, life's too short for stuck wicks. So we'll just move on to keeping it free and easy, yeah? Yeah. All right, so this morning we're talking about living in Thanksgiving, which sounds a lot like our monthly theme, Living the Grateful Heart. Could be that when you do 7 talks in 4.5 weeks, it's just hard to think of a new title. But either way, we're talking about gratitude and in a way that says, this is who I am, and this is how I am in the world. Because as we've spoken this month, Thanksgiving is the action of gratitude. Thanksgiving is the expression of what it is that we feel when someone does us a kindness or when we stand before something or someone that we appreciate. We're moved to do something, to show up in a different way. And so living in Thanksgiving. And this week's summary, I wrote that Thanksgiving is a verb, not a noun or a day. It's a practice, not just an act. And it's a place to dwell in, not just for a day, but for all time. One of the things that occurred to me is the expression to dwell upon. When we dwell upon something, we give our attention to it. We sort of ruminate, we reflect on it. But to dwell actually means to abide or to make a home or make a permanent residence. And when you make a home, one of the things that you do, even if you don't really have the decorating gene, is you at least put some pictures on the wall, usually. And so I would say that we dwell within and we decorate this inner home with our word pictures. We use our words to create a picture of life. And so we're called upon to use words that generate and welcome thanksgiving and joy and beauty and gratitude and peace and the things that we wish to experience in our lives. We want to know that we live in a place where we can appreciate the beauty of life so that when we go out into the world in all of its noisy messiness, we're bringing with us a perspective that says, yes, it's loud, but you know, there's music playing. Or, yeah, this is really messy, but you know, people's hearts are in the right place. So we have an opportunity to bring ourselves into the world in a way that shows the world how we want it and us to show up. Rumi says, the words you speak become the house you live in. The words you speak become the house you live in. So I want you to take a moment and just reflect. You can close your eyes if you want to get totally into it. Or you can just think about it for a moment. Think, what are you thankful for now? What is there in your life that brings you a sense of gratitude or appreciation? What place? What person? What circumstance? And then ask yourself, where do you express thanksgiving? Where are you grateful out loud in some way, through your words or your actions? Where do you actively show your thanks, or where do you give? So each of us has some place in our lives that we're already grateful for, some place where we can tap into that feeling of appreciation, that feeling of having been blessed, of having been given a kindness, a feeling even of having been given something material that fills us with joy. It's already in us. Sometimes it wakes up because of something that happens or someone that comes into our life from the outside. But truly, it's living within us, waiting for us to recognize it. So then you ask yourself, what if you don't feel it? What if you don't feel grateful? What if in the moment or in the circumstances you find yourself, you don't feel abundant? How about the times when the world is just too much? Or when the trauma is too recent? Or when the grief is too close? And I want to make a distinction here. I want to make a distinction between lack and loss. Because usually, we don't feel grateful because we feel like we're missing something or we want something and we don't have it. And why should I be grateful for what I have when it's not really what I want? But then there's that difficulty in feeling gratitude when you're in the midst of something painful or you're struggling because of loss. And loss is a very human emotion from real experiences. Sometimes science of mind has a reputation for being very Pollyanna. Everything's fine, everything's great, it's wonderful, it's going to be great. And the truth is, in the moment, life sucks. It hurts. People are mean. Friends die. We struggle. There's war. We struggle in the world sometimes. We struggle in our own world sometimes. But loss is a real experience. It creates a sense of grief. It's also part of our wholeness. It's part of our humanity. It isn't that we need to avoid those things which make us cry. It's that we need to embrace them and realize that part of being human is caring deeply about someone or something. And that process is part of what shapes us. We've all had the experience of realizing that a great loss has moved over time into a sense of compassion or empathy. I remember my mom telling me after she'd had her stroke, she was recovering fairly well, but what it did do is it made her do everything more slowly. So she was kind of down to one hand, you know. The left hand just kind of wandered off and did its own thing. But the right hand was still pretty functional. So she could do everything she did before, but more slowly. And she was much more available to people helping her. My mom was very much an independent person and normally would not have accepted a whole lot of help. But she realized that people were her angels. In other words, people giving of themselves, being of service to her, was something that she could gracefully accept. And in return, that would serve the people offering to help. It's part of what shapes us, this healing process. We move from that sharp pain into a sense of remembered love that's poignant, but not as piercing. It changes the way we are in the world. When we experience loss, it's a call to love, to be caring, to nurture, to support. And when you think about it, if we see someone we know who's going through that, that is our first instinct, right? To support them in some way. The world has a lot of trauma right now. And I want to read a piece of what I read on Wednesday night at the Interfaith Thanksgiving service. It's part of an essay by Dan Rather. And he's talking about this contrast between gathering around the banquet table at Thanksgiving with family and friends and food and abundance and plenty in the midst of a world that is at war and people are suffering, people are being persecuted. There are threats to our right to live in peace. And this is a holiday of coming together, and yet we are a divided people. And he says this is exactly why Thanksgiving, in its simplest and purest form, is so important. Because it is because of all that is and can go wrong that we need to give thanks for what pushes this world back from the abyss of despair. For all the forces that are tearing us apart, there are others who seek to mend what is broken. For all those who seek conflict, there are those who strive for peace. It's important not to be Pollyannish, but cynicism is also destructive. We are to balance a recognition of the immense challenges we confront with an understanding that there are also harvests of hope. All our lives represent a blend of triumph and defeat, happiness and disappointment, and some of us face far greater struggles than others. That's why Thanksgiving is ultimately about much more than a personal state of thankfulness. It's about creating a society that supports one another. And so it is gratitude itself that creates the healing that can happen when we feel so far apart, so disconnected, so in conflict with someone or something. We need that balance. Now, lack, on the other hand, is what we think about what's happening in our lives, what we call it. And most of us are raised, and the marketing industry makes sure we don't forget that something about us or what we have is not enough. Not enough. How many of you went out shopping on Black Friday? Oh, a couple. Yeah, okay. Honesty there. That's good. That's good. So we gather together to be grateful for what we have, and then we go shopping for more, which is fine. It's the human condition. But are we doing it consciously, and are we doing it because we don't think we have enough? Or do we say no to a job opportunity because we think we're not enough? Or do we pull away from a relationship because we think we don't have anything to offer? It's our spiritual practice that shifts that dynamic, that constant conversation that says more. You need to be more. You should have more. You should have this over here or that over there. And you really should be taller or shorter or thinner or fat, whatever. Spiritual practice. Go within. find within you the center. And the center says what? You are whole, perfect, and complete as you are. That who you are is just what is needed in your world right now. If you ever leave the house late, apparently some of you do that. Yes, you leave the house late. And so you run out the door with the idea of what? There's not enough time. You know, when you think like that, it makes everything harder. It makes it a struggle. It means everybody that's in your way is really in your way, and they're doing it to you personally just to be mean. As opposed to having a perspective that says, there is enough, I am enough, it will work out, there is a way forward. The spiritual truth of life is that it always works together for good. And if I'm late, and life will go on, and it will be okay, and I am okay. Now, those of you that are chronically late, we can talk after service. But in general, you can practice living in thanksgiving by being grateful and appreciative for the fact that you have transportation to get where you're going, regardless of when you leave the house. You can be grateful for the fact that you have someplace to go. You can be grateful for the fact that you are physically able to do it. There is enoughness in the world, in you, as you. There is an infinite supply of life. We're here. Life is all around us. Life is, and so are we. There's always a way forward, no matter how dire it looks. And the antidote to these symptoms of lack, the symptoms of lack like a bad mood or low energy, or you don't know what to do and you're confused, or you're just plain old cranky and nobody wants to be around you, those are the symptoms. The antidote to that is thanksgiving. And the easiest path to that, when you don't feel like doing anything, is get up and go be nice to someone else in some way. Go be of service. It tells your subconscious that you have something to share. Because your subconscious is in that moment believing that you don't have enough of something. So you taking an action to give, to be of service, to be kind, just to smile at the person next to you in line, lets you know that you're okay, that you're enough. You don't have to be Mother Teresa or Warren Buffett. You don't have to go save the world in order to be a giver. It's just you showing up as you. It's enough. So Wednesday night we had our Claremont Interfaith Council Thanksgiving gratitude service. We had 100 people in the room. We had speakers and music and just an atmosphere of love and giving and appreciation. And Pat was supposed to be here. She was going to come with me. She likes to come to the events, and she's available to do that. And the word went out from Harmony Center that Reverend Sean was not feeling well. And she had sent an email out to her practitioners asking if they might be able to take a part of the service in case she couldn't get through it or she started coughing and had to stop, they could step in. And so all of the practitioners agreed to take a piece, and Pat did too. She says, this is just the right thing to do. It's like, of course it is. Of course it is. And she found herself at the beginning disappointed because we were going to come here together. She had not been to that service before. She wanted to, see what we do and hear all the music and all that. And she said that by the end of the evening at Harmony, she was actually feeling very empowered. That in showing up to do her part, to be able to say yes to Reverend Sean when Sean said, could you also do this tonight too? I can't do it either. To say yes to that. To be available, to be of service. It wasn't just that she gave something to her community. It was that she herself was given a state of mind, a way of being, a place of power and appreciation for who she can be in the world And it felt good. And it was energizing. When we give, we are energized. So she missed us, but she didn't miss out. Who you are, right where you are, doing what you can do is exactly what the world needs. So don't tell yourself it's not important. It is. You are. All right, so how many of you have heard of Florence Scovel Shinn? She's a New Thought writer, contemporary Adventist Homes. She writes in that lovely early 1900s language, but that's okay. She tells a lot of stories in her books to illustrate her points. And she tells the story of, I wrote his name down, Jim Tully. She says, a number of years ago, I went to California to speak at the different centers by way of the Panama Canal. That tells you how long ago that was. And on the boat, I met a man named Jim Tully, and for years, he had been a tramp. He called himself the king of hobos. He was ambitious and picked up an education. He had a vivid imagination and commenced writing stories about his experiences. He dramatized tramp life. He enjoyed what he was doing. He became a very successful author. I remember one book was called Outside Looking In. It was made into a motion picture. He's now famous then and prosperous and lives in Hollywood. What opened the secret door to success for Jim Tully? Dramatizing his life, being interested in what he was doing, he made the most of being a tramp. If you want to make the most of your life, you have to see the most in your life. If you take nothing else away today, realize that in order to live your best life, you have to see your life at its best. And that means even when things are hard, to be able to trust that there's still a best in it. If you take a moment and think about some situation in your life that at the time was devastating or traumatic or awful or difficult or unexpectedly negative, that turned into a benefit for you, that turned into something better than what you'd had before. Or perhaps you just had someone in your life that was able to make something happen or give you something so unexpectedly good. You didn't know that would make you feel better. You didn't know that would help you in your career. You didn't know that that would shine a light in a dark corner of your life. Yet that is the way life works. Being able to see the good allows us to recognize and appreciate how life is always expanding and supporting and moving us upward and onward. So we live in gratitude. We dwell in that house of the words that we speak of beauty and love and joy. It's your gifts, your heart, your dreams that show up as your experience in life. And when you do that, then we can all be grateful for you. Thank you. Namaste. Let's anchor that in prayer, shall we? Take a moment and find that place in your own heart that is a quiet place of love. Breathe into that peaceful feeling of calm and tranquility, and see the light that shines in this heart space. And I recognize that that light is the light of life, always and ever present in me, in everyone I meet, in the whole world. There is the light of life everywhere I look, if I but have eyes to see it. And I know that this life, this energy of love, of peace, of joy, of gratitude, is the truth of me. And as it is the truth of me, it is the truth of everyone, simply awaiting our attention. And so I speak a word for the shining of the light in, through, and as all people, all life forms, all circumstances. I speak a word for those of us that act for peace, stand for justice, and open our hearts to all. I speak a word for those who are struggling to find that peace within themselves and trust that it will come. For there truly are harvests of hope everywhere. And there truly is enough power, enough love, enough energy in the world to heal us all. And so I am grateful. I give great thanks to this life that we live, this beautiful world that we inhabit with all of its messiness and conflicts and difficulties and joy and love and compassion. For I know that always love wins, that the truth of who we are cannot help but shine, and that when love meets any and every person and situation, there is healing happening. And I accept that with a grateful heart. I know that as I believe and as I speak, it is made so in the world in its time and place. And it can only be good, for it is truly all God. And so it is. We have an affirmation in the bulletin if you'd like to follow along. I'll speak the sentence and ask you to repeat after me, and that lets our friends online join in with us. I am a force for good wherever I go and whomever I am with. Wherever I go and whomever I am with. For I dwell in the place of gratitude. And so it is. And let's take a moment and welcome back the Jacksons, please. A little more music. Yeah.
Well, good morning. Did everybody have a wonderful Thanksgiving? All right. Us too. We didn't get to see our kids, but we got to talk to all of them. And that was a good thing. And she made me the best Thanksgiving dinner I think I've ever had. I got to tell you, you know, it's a time that I find difficult, all the things that are going on in the world, but what I try and do is I picked this song because it sees the other side. It sees the celebration of being here, the celebration of being together, just a celebration of all we've got. It's called A Celebration of Love. We wrote this, I think, maybe last year. Celebration of love. I can see it shine, I can feel the power. The heart beats faster, and you give me love, and that gives me faith to move my mountains, and I feel your love, and I've never felt anything better. Every day we celebrate God's love. I'm so amazed by the power of love. It connects me to the rhythm in my soul. The beauty that surrounds me and the joy in my heart is a gift that was given long ago. You can be who you want to be. See the truth in everything you see. Give from your heart in the spirit of love. Send it out everywhere. We are a celebration of love. I can see us shine, I can feel the power, the miracle of love. And when you give it away and it just gets stronger, it's been given to us. And we'll cover the world and bring us together.
Every day we celebrate God's love.
All right.
Thank you.
Man can play the guitar. Thank you. Thank you. It's just perfect. Just perfect. All right. So let's take a moment and show our gratitude for our community in our giving. You'll find in your program our prosperity affirmation, and those of you online will find a donate button on our website or in your weekly email. And what I know is that you cannot outgive God. So as you give to that which fills you up, that which feeds you, you will be in fact fed again and more. And it allows us to spread the light that we are out and through the world. So I am grateful for all that we give to each other and with each other and for each other. And I ask you to join me in saying our affirmation. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I give, and all that I receive. I am prosperous now. All right, so I want to thank Chris McDowell for our beautiful flowers. She's home with family this weekend down in San Clemente, but she gifted us the 2 bouquets on the outside for our Wednesday night service, and then gifted us the Sunday bouquet also. Unless she made other arrangements, those are up for grabs to take home. So if somebody is really attracted to these flowers, we would love to have them go home with you so that they do not sit here in the dark all week. All right. Let's see. We do not have a breathing meditation today. Ingrid is also at home this weekend. So we'll pick that up next week. We have our Christmas luncheon coming next Sunday. That's December 3rd, right after the service, where I apologize. I personally do not have details. I was a little busy this week. But food, yes. Raffle baskets, yes. $10 ticket. You can pay at the door. Mickey has a sign-up sheet out front, so if you think you're going to be here, let us know. That just gives us an idea of how much to prepare for. And, you know, we always have a good time no matter why we're getting together. So think about that for next Sunday. We'll see you after service over in Holmes Hall for a Christmas party. All right. We are once again supporting the Children's Foundation of, oh, sorry, Mickey.
You know what? In the past, what we've done is everybody can bring
some sort of a gift of $5, and if you don't want to spend any money, something that you have at home that you would like to pass along. Find a new address for it. And I have a game. Find a new address for it. I like that. So fun. Okay. Everybody brings a little gift. Okay. Wrapped. Okay, so you bring a wrapped gift, just $5 or something off the closet that somebody gave you that you, as Mickey says, are want to find a new address for. 10. Okay. Mary says you can spend up to 10 if you want. So, you know. Bring whatever you want. Okay. Bring something, wrap it up, bring it. We'll play a game. It'll be really fun. Thank you, Mickey. Absolutely. All right, let's see. So this year we're once again supporting the Children's Foundation of America. That is a local Claremont charity that supports foster youth. So the gifts that you donate go to kids that are in the foster program. And there is a wish list online. So for those of you who are tech savvy, you can scan the QR code that's on the box. It will pop open with the wish list of what the kids are asking for. You can bring a wrapped gift and put it in the box. If you are not a shopper, although I just don't understand people who are not shoppers, but if you're not a shopper, I am, so I would be happy to do that on your behalf. If you would like to donate but don't really feel like doing the whole QR code list thing, or you can simply bring a nice gift and they'll make sure it gets to a nice person. So it is something we do every year along with other vendors, business people in the community, and it's something that's dear to my heart. So I'm hoping to have an overflowing box in the next week or two. We still have dancing going on. We've got line dancing on Tuesday. We have belly dancing on Wednesday. And if you didn't know you could belly dance, this is your chance to find out that it's possible. And trust me, everybody's in the same boat, so no one will laugh at you. Men are welcome. It should be fun. Let's see. We are also, as we do all year long, still collecting non-perishable foods for both Foothill Family Shelter and the Inland Valley Hope Partners. So those donation boxes are not currently in the lobby. We put the toy box out there, but if you have food that you wish to donate, unless I'm mistaken, just set it down by the box and we'll get it to the right place. Okay. We have coffee and cookies in the foyer. Am I missing anything? Okay, so I have one more thing, and that is truly a thank you for everyone who made it possible for us to host the Interfaith Thanksgiving service. As I said, we had over 100 people in the building. We had 104 in the building, 14 online watching the service. We had everything from Native American music to the Baha'i Children's Choir to the Claremont Chorale Ensemble to Reverend Drack playing the piano to speakers from all different faiths. What was that, Mayor? The Jacksons, of course. You're just part of life, I just always appreciate you. Yes, the Jacksons opened us up with a beautiful song. We have music from the synagogue. It was just a fabulous evening. And it wouldn't, singing cantor, but it wouldn't have happened had not all of you brought 10,000 cookies. We have so many cookies. You will be eating cookies from now until Valentine's Day. Thank you for your generosity and abundance. And he's not here today, so we're going to make a big deal about it next weekend. But Patrick leading the charge on getting our library rebuilt, repainted, refurbished, ready to go is just an amazing, amazing miracle. And all the people who helped him. Johnny helped him. Christopher helped him. Ed had, those of you that packed up boxes way back in the day when we had a flood and had to get everything out of there. Everyone who contributed, we have a beautiful, beautiful space. So I invite you, when you have your coffee and cookies after service today, to walk up the ramp and just peek in the room and go, ooh, how pretty is this? So that is my love message to all of you. Just such appreciation for making it beautiful and allowing us to have a very wonderful event here in our home for the city. All right, let's take a moment, stand up, spread to the aisles, and we'll sing Eddie Watkins Jr.
Take a look at the person next to you. Say God loves you and I love you too. Now feel the love in the sanctuary. Lift your voice and repeat after